I want to run my own mail server. There are many YouTube videos out there that are saying it's a bad idea, and I agree in many points. It can be a lot of maintenance work, and DNS settings and overall security can be challenging, but I believe if you do it the right way and the correct way, then it can be successful and well-performing, and most importantly, secure. In this video, I will set up a Mailcow mail server on a VPS. It will probably end up in a video series because I want to add a Mailpiler to archive emails instantly. I also want to add multiple domains on this mail server and go into more details within the Mailcow settings. And of course, I want to add some additional layers of security as well as monitoring. But let's begin with the basics first, the DNS records and the installation of Mailcow itself. Alright, let's start with the DNS settings first. Before we even install Mailcow, we can prepare some DNS records beforehand. And I'm going to use my domain, the sysadminhub.com, for my mail server. The first record we're going to add is an A record for the mail server itself. So it's in type A, and we use mail, and the IP address of my new server is this one right here. Don't want it proxied right now, so we're going to save this one. The next one will be a CNAME. So CNAME, by the way, I'm doing this all here in Cloudflare because I found out they are really good in DNS records and also in Let's Encrypt certificates. I will show that later on. So the CNAME that we need is for autoconfig.thesysadminhub.com, and it will go to, let me copy this one because it's long. It will be a CNAME for mail.thesysadminhub.com. We save this, and the next one is the NGINX record. We're going to use @ so it's for the domain itself, not for a subdomain. And the mail server is mail.thesysadminhub.com, just one dot, and the priority, let's set it to 10. Let's save this, and we can prepare another record, which is an SRV for _autodiscover._TCP with 0, and I believe this is 5. The port is 443. Target is this one, mail.thesysadminhub.com. Can save this, and we also need a text record for root with this content. This is the SPF record with your IPv4 address, and if you have an IPv6 address as well. Okay, I removed the IPv6 first to keep it short and simple. We can save this as well. And we can prepare one more DNS record for _DMARC with this content in here. That's also for security, so our emails will actually go through. Let's save this as well, and then with that one we're already done. We're not completely done. We're going to add some more DNS record later on, but those are the ones that we can prepare beforehand. But before we jump into installing Mailcow, let me introduce you to our today's hosting partner, Verpex. They were so kind to provide me a server for today's video. Thank you so much for that. Whether you're a Linux novice or a seasoned sysadmin, Verpex has the plan that fits your needs. At Verpex, you can get managed and unmanaged VPS servers with Linux or Windows. If you rather focus on your app and skip the low-level maintenance, Verpex's managed VPS plans take care of OS updates, security patches, monitoring, and even offer cPanel for Linux or Plesk for Windows, so you can manage everything through a graphical dashboard. On the flip side, their unmanaged VPS lets you have full root access and is perfect if you want total control over your server environment. That's what I prefer. Speed matters for mail delivery and web access, and basically for everything in the internet nowadays. Verpex has 12 data center locations from North America to Europe, Asia, Australia, and South America. so you can choose the region closest to your user base. All servers include NVMe SSD storage, which is absolutely nice and the fastest available on the market, unlimited bandwidth, and an inline DDoS protection to keep your server responsive and secure. Verpex is a reliable hosting platform with extraordinary support. They run daily backups to keep your data safe and offer free migration to move you from any host at no cost. A 99.9% uptime and 24/7 expert support means help is just one ticket away. They helped me set up a reverse DNS record for my public IP address for this mail server. Verpex even offers geo-redundant storage options to replicate your data across regions for high availability. And with at least 7-day money-back guarantee, you can test drive any plan risk-free. Verpex also provides web hosting with domain registration and SSL certificate, WordPress hosting, domain services, and much more. If you want to check them out, just use the link in the video description to explore Verpex's offers. It's a great way to get premium hosting. Whether you want a fully managed setup or the freedom to root access, Verpex is a solid foundation for your services. Thanks so much, Verpex, and let's get back to our mail server setup. Just like always on a brand new root server, we're going to run apt update and apt upgrade, sorry for that, -y. Shouldn't take too long for me because I already did that beforehand. And after that, we're going to change the time zone, or not change it, we're going to adjust it with dpkg-reconfigure tc data, then just choose where you are. For me, that's Berlin, and then it changed the time zone for you. Why do we need that? For our mail server, you will see later on the setup. After that, we're going to install Docker. I will speed run through this because I have multiple videos where I'm showing how to install Docker. You can check them out on my channel. It shouldn't take too long to install them all. Okay, don't know what was wrong there before, but now we can do another apt update, and when that one is done, we can run this one. Yes, I want that. Now it will install Docker as well as Docker Compose. We're going to start the Docker daemon, also enable it just for good measure, and to test if Docker works, we can do Docker run hello world. It will download, and this message shows that your installation appears to be working correctly. We can do docker --version, that's correct, and docker compose -v docker compose version. Yeah, that's correct as well. So now with this all installed, we can start with our Mailcow installation. For that, I'm going to make a new directory, Docker, and let's change into that one too. And then in here, we're going to make one called Mailcow, and also change into Mailcow. And after that, with this command, we're going to clone the GitHub repository from the official Mailcow repository for Mailcow Dockerized. That's in here. And when this is done, you can see that here, we can change into Mailcow Dockerized, and in here is everything we need for our Mailcow. I choose Mailcow because it already comes Dockerized, and it already includes every service you need. Services for sending and receiving emails, monitoring, even a webmail interface. So it's really a all-in-one package. I hope you like my videos and my content. If you do, please leave a like and consider subscribing. It really helps out small channels like mine so much. And if you really want to help, then maybe even leave a comment. It really shows YouTube that you like my video. Thank you so much for your support. So in here, there is a script called generate_config.sh. And when we run it, it will ask us for the host name of this mail server. And this one is mail.sysadminhub.com, just like the first A record that we set, and also the MX record for anyone who wants to be hosted on this mail server. So we enter this. The time zone, it already got the time zone from our root server. That's why we reconfigured it earlier. So I can just enter here. It will take it. After that, we're going to choose a branch for updates. I'm going to choose number 1 for stable updates. Now it's working. And now is already everything done. It also even says us this. Our IP is clean, which is nice. So now if we check in here, we have a mailcow.conf that we can check. In here is everything we configured earlier, the host name. It also configures database name, database user, also the passwords there and the Reddit password. I am going to put this behind a NGINX reverse proxy. That's why I'm going to change the ports here to 8080 for HTTP and 4433 for HTTPS, just to be sure. And in here there is some more stuff. You can even see all the ports that are needed for this Mailcow server. Those ports need to be opened on your server, but I will show it in just 1 second. Okay, so let's save this. You know what? Before I forget it, let's do the ports right now. We need port 587, this one as well. By the way, as always, all those commands and all those files you can find in the description down below for download, just like you are used from me. Don't have to define your ports here in UFV. If you run IP tables, for example, you need to do that in IP tables. Or if your VPS has some external firewall, then you need to do that there. Okay, this one is inactive, so systemctl. I think I need to do port 22 as well, so I'm not locking myself out. And then I'm going to activate the firewall. And in here with the config script, or what we downloaded from the GitHub repository, there is already a Docker Compose file, which is absolutely massive. It's 682 lines long, and there's all those servers, all those different containers are already defined in here and already ready to go. You don't really need to change anything in here. So let's leave this alone. Let me just split this terminal in here because I want to use a NGINX reverse proxy. So for that, we're going to install NGINX. Yes, I really want to install this. Then we can change into NGINX sites available. And in here, I want a mail, the sysadmin hub. And I already prepared this, but basically what it is, it will just listen to the server name, the sysadmin hub, mail the sysadmin hub, auto discover, auto config, a client max body size of 1 GB, and then we're going to proxy it all to port 8080, which is the one for Mailcow. Then it will listen to port 443, which is SSL. I activated HTTP2. The SSL certificates, we need to request them, but they're going to be at this location, I'm pretty sure. And then those SSL session configurations and some header configurations and a redirect for anyone who tries to access this with HTTP. They will be redirected to HTTPS. So we save this and then we can change directory into sites enabled and do a symbolic link from sites available mail in here. So now we have the symbolic link in there. I'm just speeding through this because I have done this so many times in my Nextcloud videos. So if ever you're stuck in there, just check one of those videos where I show it to you. But this time I want to use a Cloudflare API token to generate a wildcard certificate. And for that, we're going to install Certbot with the Certbot DNS Cloudflare. I always keep on forgetting the -y at the end, but that's not a big issue. And for the wildcard certificate, we need to make a directory, which is this one. And then I want it this one. And then I want to create a file there with Vim, because I am a Vim guy, with Cloudflare, how do you call it? Cloudflare.ini. In here, we need this one, but obviously not token. We need to request a token from Cloudflare. So back here in Cloudflare, we can go to Manage Account, API Tokens. I already have some here, and then I want to use this one. Yeah, I can even name it let's call it the sysadminhub.com. This one can edit the DNS. I want a specific zone, only the sysadmin hub, the others I don't want. And I want it to be able to only be accessed from my IP address, which is this one right here. And then start date, I want it to start today. And I want this token to be active for quite some time. Maybe this one, yeah, let me do it on a Saturday, so I still have the weekend to fix it. If ever on September 5th, I will forget about this, what happened there. And then I can create this token, and I don't care if you see the token here right there, because you can only access it from my IP address. Back in the terminal, we can insert this token, save this, and then what I also want to do is I'm going to change the rights to this cloudflare.ini. So 600 means 6 is the owner of the file, which is root. Root can read and write. And then 00 means the group, and everyone else doesn't even have any chance at reading this file at all. And to request the wildcard certificate, we have this command here, which goes over many lines. And basically it just tells us we want only the certificate. We want a DNS Cloudflare challenge. We have DNS Cloudflare credentials, which are not in here. I need to change this. And then we want a wildcard certificate, and also just for our domain itself. And in here, you need to specify your email so you can get notified by Certbot or Let's Encrypt. But I need to change this one here because the location of my ini is not correct. This one is the correct email. And then let's just have certbot at the sysadminhub.com, because why not coconut? Let's run this. Command not found. What do you mean? 1 second. I think the issue was there are some empty spaces behind each line, and now it's working. Yeah, it's just that. That's what happens when you copy and paste those commands from text editors. They tend to add a space at the end. But what it's doing now is using the Cloudflare ini, the API, to request the certificate, and it says successful received certificate. It is at this location, which is the one that I specified, the full chain PAM and the private key PAM. And Certbot has set up a scheduled task to automatically renew this certificate in the background, as long as my API token is valid and is useful, because this certificate will expire in 3 months. All right, we can run NGINX T to test it. Everything is all right. So we can do systemctl reload engine and NGINX. All right, so our reverse proxy is all set up. We can close this, and then I think it is time to start up our Docker container. With the command docker compose up-d, it will start pulling all those images from the Docker Hub repositories. It might take a while, and then it will create all those containers, all the volumes, all the networks, everything that's defined in this massive docker compose.yaml file. And now it started creating them. That's what I love about Docker and Docker Compose. This is just the best moment for me, always in those projects when we start up a new container setup that hasn't even pulled all the images yet. I will use Edge this time, and let's go to mail.sysadminhub.com. And there is our Mailcow. Let's check the certificate. Here you have it, a Wildcard Certificate with the little star from Let's Encrypt. And if we go here, just want to show this to you. Yeah, here you see the DNS names, the normal domain, and also the wildcard. So it's a SAN certificate. In here, in the Mailcow documentation, it says the initial password is admin and then moohoo, spelled like this, moohoo. If you try to log in, it says login failed. I stumbled across this at the first time because what you need to do is for an admin to log in, you need to specify admin, then it says administrator login, and here you can say admin moohoo, like this, say login, now you're in. And this is your mail server. You can see a bunch of stuff in here. I will go into detail in that with another video. But first things first, what I want to do is configurations. I want to edit this one, and I want to make my own password. So none of you guys can enter in here. But anyway, I will activate two-factor authentication and stuff like that before the video goes online. But to be able to send and receive emails, we need to add our first domain in here because there is no domain in here. So we're going to add the sysadminhub.com, give it the same description. I'll leave everything like this first, and I want to add this domain in here. Takes a second, and when it's done, it shows you here the domain. It shows you how many aliases are used, how many mailbox, what's the quota statistic, and if it's active or not. You can remove it even here. And in here, this little DNS button, you can click that one, and then it will show you the DNS records. Good thing we already prepared many of them. For example, this A record for mail to sysadmin hub, and with the green tick, it tells us it is correct. The PTR record, the reverse DNS record, which Verpex was so kind to set up for me. And then we can set up this one because we need this correct data first. That's why we can't prepare that beforehand. We also specified already the MX record. We specified, I thought we specified the CNAME auto-discover, but I will check on that later. And this one, oh, I have a typo in here. I have 442 instead of 443, but that's an easy fix. We have autoconfig CNAME. Oh, we don't have auto-discover CNAME. All right, I need to specify that. We already have the SPF record. It takes a while for the green tick to appear. We have the DMARC. The green tick will never appear here because there are so many different variations of how to set up this DMARC, but there are a bunch of different sites where you can verify if your DMARC is correct. And this one, the DKIM or DKIM, I don't know how to pronounce this one, we need to set up as well. So let's jump back right into Cloudflare. Okay, right back in the DNS panel in Cloudflare. So let's go through them one by one, which one we are missing. We need it's called TLSA. The name is this one, _25 dot _ TCP dot mail dot sysadmin.hub.com. And the usage is 311. And the correct data I'll copy out from here. We save this one. The next one is a CNAME for autodiscover. And this one points to mail.sysadminhub.com. Let's not proxy this. Save it. Then let's correct the one that I messed up, the SRV. Let's edit this one to 443. This little typo in here. Okay, which one are we missing? We have the autoconfig, we have the SPF, we have the DMARC. So now we need the DKIM, which is a TXT record here. And the name is DKIM _ dot _ domain key dot the sysadmin hub. And the content is this one, which is provided by Mailcow. We save this. Okay, so we did a bunch of them. I just realized my server doesn't even have a IPv6. Yeah, okay. Anyway, doesn't matter. So we can refresh this. Let's hope I wasn't too fast. And yeah, as you can see, this TLSA, it's already in here. It's green. It wasn't green here before. The auto-discover is also green, as well as the autoconfig. One of them we already had before. The SRV is not yet green because of the TTL, time to live, and the DKIM is also already green. Let me just refresh this again and check if maybe, no, not yet, but that's not that big of an issue. Let's create our first mailbox. So in here we can add a mailbox, say test, just the left part, so the one before the add, and then do test. For the domain, you can specify it there. Right now we only have one domain and a password, which will be this one, confirm the password, this one, and we're going to enforce TLS incoming and outgoing, and then let's say add, and here it is. So now what can we do with that? I open up a new private window. Let's go to mail.sysadminhub.com, just a normal one, and then let's try to log in with test at the sysadminhub.com with the password that I just specified. Then when we log in, we will be redirected to the webmail interface, which is really nice. So that means Mailcow already comes with this webmail interface, but of course you can connect it to your Thunderbird, to your cell phone, also to your Outlook. I will show you that in future videos, and even in your Nextcloud you can do that. So now let's test to send a message, or maybe let's receive a message. One second. All right, it worked in here. We received an email from myself. I need to remember to blur out my mail address. And then let's reply back. Let's send, send, and then you can see it in here that it has been sent. So this is it for the first part of the video. We will go much more in depth in future videos on what else we can do with Mailcow. And just to prove you that it worked, Here is the test mail that I sent from test the sysadmin hub to myself. I blurred it out, but yeah, this is the test mail. So we can send and receive already. But as I said, more about what we can do with Mailcow in the future. Before we wrap this up, I want to give a big thank you again to Verpex for supporting this video and helping me make this content possible. It's great to have a hosting partner that truly understands the needs of self-hosters, whether you're spinning up a mail server, a Nextcloud, or anything else. Don't forget, if you're interested in checking out Verpex's offers for yourself, there's a link in the description. By using that link, you can explore all of their hosting plans and take advantage of discounts for your first order. It's a great opportunity to get reliable hosting for your services. Thanks again to Verpex. All right, everyone. So this is it for the setup of Mailcow. The Docker and the NGINX stuff is rather easy. We've done that in the past with Nextcloud and many other projects. I think what most people scare off are the DNS records itself, but Mailcow is doing a really good job at checking those for you and showing you if they're correct or if you have to work on them or not. I hope you learned something, and stay tuned for other videos about my mail server. In the next video, we will add Mailpiler to automatically archive mails. That's especially important for businesses. So see you next time.